Hi there, Dead Ideal Boy here, back with another video, and in this one we are in the Group 4 cars. It is Interlagos, we are in the Nissan GT-R, and we are behind a very quick fellow YouTuber, Sparks Theory, who is absolutely rapid round this track. He recently picked up more than 300 points in a GT World Series event, so he's alien pace round here, so keeping up with him was going to be a massive challenge. But notably, behind us, we've got Rory Alexander on his Eerieissss account, who was live streaming to 1,000+ people at the time, so the pressure was really on. He was in the Lamborghini, the Norwegian behind us was also in the Lamborghini, so it was GTRs versus Lamborghinis, and we would see who would come out on top. Now, if you've not subscribed to my channel, you've probably subscribed to Sparks Theory and Rory, well, why not subscribe to this channel as well? It would be a massive help, and it would help us try and get that number in the top right corner closer to the 10,000 subscribers mark. It would mean a huge amount if you could do that. Say hello in the comments if you do, but yeah, any help in that front would be much appreciated. Now back to the racing, and we're coming towards the end of lap 1. You can see we've actually done not too bad a job of trying to hang with Sparks. We've got a gap just under 0.7 of a second. The gap behind us is slightly bigger, so we've actually done quite a good job of staying with Sparks and creating a little bit of leeway, a little bit of a breathing space behind us. However, the Lamborghinis behind us are absolutely rapid on the straights. The power these cars have, especially up towards 5th and 6th gear, they just reel in whoever's in front. You can see the deltas coming down rapidly, now down to less than half a second. So they're taking 2 3/10 a second out of the GTR on that straight. So the GTR really needs to try and make up some time through the twisty sections and basically use that kind of handling characteristics to its advantage to try and maintain the gap. Now, maintaining the gap was only going to be possible if I could keep with Sparks. Now, again, as I said, very difficult job because he's really quick, exceptionally quick round here. He's easily a top 25 driver in the world round here, if you ask me, on current pace and current form. So big up to Sparks. But we've got ourselves in a reasonable position. We've settled into the race slightly. We're well aware at this point though that there's over 1,000 people watching, and we are starting to sweat a little bit because we've got somebody in our radar now in the form of the Norwegian, and then another little dot coming into the radar in the form of Rory. So the Lamborghinis are starting to make their mark. Sparks hasn't really got that much further away from us, so we can take some solace in the fact that we are keeping a reasonable pace with him. You can see he's still around about the 7/10 mark, although he does get a good exit there and starts to drop us a little bit as it creeps up to 8/10. But more importantly, the Lamborghini is now within striking distance coming towards the end of the second lap. You just take a little look back and you can see it. It's like a shark just hunting down its prey, ready to strike, and he moves up the inside, and I'm not going to fight it. And the reason I'm not going to fight it is because I'm going to try and use him to see if we can catch up to Sparks. Now, that was the plan. However, doesn't quite pan out that way, doesn't quite work this way, and Sparks has now got a bigger gap. He's got basically a second to that Lamborghini, and if he can stretch that lead out, it's going to just come down to a dogfight for P2, and that will probably be between myself, the Norwegian, and Rory behind us in the other Lamborghini. So I'm now in a Lamborghini sandwich, and that is not a good place to be, trust me. When you are in the GTR, you really need to try and break clear and get away from the Lamborghinis, because as you've just seen how easily they can strike down that straight and into turn 1, it is very difficult to fend them off. So getting back ahead of this guy is going to be a huge task, but not just that, I've got to fend off Rory, who is hunting me down behind, and he's starting to show some really good pace round here at this point. So yeah, I'm very acutely aware of the old, well, it's a time-old classic. Trying to attack whilst trying to defend, you're probably at your most vulnerable when you're trying to attack the car in front. that's when you leave space for anybody behind to, you know, make a move into. So I really had to try and think smartly about this. You can see here the Lamborghini's dropping me going up that straight. I'm in the slipstream and I'm not really making any impact on it. And you can see behind we're now got a real threat on us from Rory. But the Lamborghini's pace just kind of helped me out and kept that gap from myself to Rory just enough so that he couldn't get into turn one, you know, up the inside and make a move. And you can see here we actually closed up quite well on the Lamborghini by making a better move into turn one and getting through the Senna S's. And you can see we've actually caught right back up. And Sparks isn't that far away either. He's not really dropped us completely. However, we are starting to, you know, feel like there's going to be a battle on for P2, because even if we caught up, getting past at Interlagos is notoriously difficult unless you're in a Lamborghini and you're just going down the straight and you've got so much more power and grunt than the car in front. That's where you're going to get your moves done. So every time we got into this handling section, I was having to try and look to see if there would be an opening or not, and just there I felt like there might be. And you can see here we kind of faked to go up the inside, and I don't know if it's spooked the Norwegian, but I just lost the rear a little bit. It gave us enough space and we just floored it, and for once I actually got a move done. You know, I actually saw the opportunity, I decided I was going to try and take it, and we actually got it done, which shocked me. However, I'm now in P2, I've been completely dropped now by Sparks in front, and I've got two Lamborghinis coming down the straight working together. You can see the little arrows in that radar, they're bump drafting each other along now, trying to close right down on me, and you can see we're going to have a move down the outside of us performed, but we're going to try just keep that inside line tight, try and fend them off, and we managed to do it through the Senna S's. So we've held them off through one really important part of the circuit, but that's going to be difficult now because we're now on another straight, and you can see I'm just going to have to go over to the left hand side and just try and pin everybody over there. You can see in the radar they're making a move on the outside, the Norwegian, and we're going to have to try and keep the apex, park it right on it, but that compromises our exit, and we've got the run down the inside of us now. So it's all happening, and we're really going to have to drive hard and defend hard here. So again, hugging the curb on the right hand side, it's all kicking off behind us. You can see both Lamborghinis now jostling for position, and Rory's got the move done, so he's now behind us, and I can almost feel the breath of 1,000+ viewers on Rory's channel chanting for him to get past me now. So the pressure is definitely on, and this is a crucial section here because I really needed to get a good exit, and I didn't get a particularly good exit. So we're going to have to watch what we do here and get a really good exit out of the final turn. So come into the braking zone, drop it down to second, over the curb, not the best, but we get on the power and we're going to accelerate out, and just there I could see something happen in the radar, and Rory drifted slightly wide, and that compromised his exit. It allowed the Norwegian to get back in front of him, and that meant we were all clear to head down towards the finish line, knowing that we've managed to secure P2. But it was an absolutely amazing race. Huge credit to Sparks for obviously obliterating the field, and huge credit to the Norwegian and Rory for the fantastic racing. It was a pleasure to race against two guys who were really, really fair, and you could trust, you know, and when you can trust the drivers round about you, that makes a huge difference to the way you can race yourself. And I wouldn't have been able to get the move done that I did get done if I didn't trust the Norwegian driver and Rory behind us. So again, huge shout out to those guys. Now the race now we've just skipped forward to while I was talking there is a race where I think I might have broke GranTurismo 7, because this final lap of this daily race, again Group 4 Interlagos, Brazil, where we started in pole position because I just kept racing, I wanted to try and get the win. I actually think I broke GranTurismo 7. I really do, because what you're about to witness is the weirdest, closest, most bizarre finish to a race that I've ever encountered on all my time in playing GranTurismo, and I include GranTurismo Sport in that. You can see we're leading, we've managed to fend off the Aston Martin behind us, who's been basically on our tail for the entire race, but some really good defensive driving. Looks like it's going to secure me the win. Now all I need to do is get a good exit, and I think I have got a reasonably good exit. Powering out a second up the inside. However, the Aston gets an even better exit, and if you watch this, you might not believe it, because he's right on me. You can see from the radar there's literally nothing between us as we head towards the line, and I'm going to get the win, surely. But he's right alongside me, and I'm going to get the win, but I don't get the win. I finish second, even though there's no time between us. We've got the exact same finishing time, but he's been awarded the win, and I don't really understand how. Now, if we look at the replay, and let's go frame by frame on this, because it's just so incredibly tight. But if we look down here at the finish line, you can see from this perspective, I think my splitter is slightly ahead of his. He's not really went past the checkered boxes yet, but you can see mine has. So I'm slightly ahead at this point, with literally millimetres left of the race. I'm sure I'm ahead. If you look round at this angle as well, yeah, the splitter is definitely in front. It's almost across the white line. You can see that. It's ahead of his. Now, if we move it on another frame, you'll see that it changes ever so slightly in terms of the position, but I still don't think I'm behind them at this point. The cars have both crossed the finish line completely now, but if anything, it just looks completely as the race awarded as a dead heat. He's maybe a millimetre in front. However, the frame shows he's obviously moved on by that point. But here we are, we take the checkered flag first, and we've been promoted to P1. So that made it all the more surprising when we get demoted to P2, as you can see. So I just found that it was an incredible finish. It was an absolutely cracking race. Daily Race B this particular week has been absolutely fantastic racing. It's maybe not the most attractive, and it's maybe quite boring because, you know, it's a well-used combination, but the racing is just fantastic, and I don't really care about combinations. If the racing is good, I'll enjoy it. So I'm loving this race this particular week. And if you have loved this video, then you can hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and help us try and get to 10,000 subscribers. And it would be amazing if you could do that. But once again, let me know in the comments, have you ever had a finish quite like that? Have you ever seen anything quite like that? I'd love to know. But yeah, thanks again for watching. Thank you once again for all the amazing support people give us on the channel, and I'll see you all on the next one. Goodbye.